we have the grading scale. Now we had 0 to 29, and then 30 to 39, which was what we got 40 to 49, 50 to 59. So this becomes my E, this becomes my B, my C, my B, and then 60, let's say to 100. And now I'm going to A. So look, I hope you will work. At least this one will start as well. So now, if I have my 45, if I'm writing a program, regardless of where it is, the first thing I'll do is write an algorithm. Is that so? So even before I decide I'm going to go to Python, I'm going to go to what, I need to first know what is my algorithm going to look like. So the first thing I need the grade, right? Now I'll be checking against my grade. Is my grade between 0 to 29? No. Is that so? So whatever it is I was supposed to do there, I ignore. Is my grade between 30 to 39? No. So whatever I was to do there, ignore. Is my grade 45 between this to this? Yes. And I stop there. It means I will not continue from there because I have already met my criteria. Is that so? And I've made my selection. Now, this is just one of the selection criteria that we are going to have. Are you together? We have another one that is called the case. Okay? Or the switch case, depending on the language. Again, sitaki kuamule mwindi wa nini naanza na tujajua tunaenda wapi. Sio? So now that becomes my what? Selection. The other one I have is what we call iteration. Iterate. Nijirudie. Are we together? Nijirudie. Like when we are doing, by the time unasema umemaliza form 4. Inamaanisha umeenda miaka ngapi? Sindio? So nilienda mwaka ya kwanza form 1. Nimefika form 4. Baada. So what do? Still go back to that school. Nimefika form 4. Bado. Again. The same school, same teachers, same building, right? For 4 years. And then now that's when I certified, or I satisfied the government that I've done 4 years. Whether I just came and did nothing, that has no business. Sure, not true. See now, the last one is the iteration. These are programming constructs. In terms of whatever language you're going to do, you're going to have one where it's sequence. Once you're done with this, do this. Once you're done with this, do this. Once you're done with this, do this. Like what we have here. Right together. The second one now becomes select. And if it is this is what you do. Then now the final one, I'll keep repeating myself until a condition has been satisfied or has been met. Kama wewe, you go on a date, haikuenda, sitende tena. Go on another, haikuenda, tuache. Lakini kijipa simejipa, ama? Now that's whatever language, and now this today, like I said, today is just basics, right? And that's why I say even those laptops can kidogo too. So depending on whatever language you're going to use, these are some of the basics that you will need to have. Okay, so you're going to have one where it is a step-by-step instruction, and now you know I'm dealing with a sequence, or I'm going to be writing a sequence, right? And then later on, I'm going to be dealing with a selection, or I'm going to be dealing with an iteration. So, and once you learn this, you'll be able to write your algorithm. Remember, before you start coding, the one thing is you have to know what it is I'm trying to do. Is that so? What am I trying to achieve? So like right now, when you're looking at, I'm pretty sure you have, right? If you have, please do get one before you get confused. When you have such, there are those things you know, once I'm done with this, then I go to this. Once I'm done with this, I go to that. It's helping you achieve your goal, right? And then there are those ones where you'll have to keep repeating until you get it. Like, I will not lie. It's not a must that the first program that you write is going to work, right? Later on, we will be dealing about debugging because, you know, there are bugs here that you need to. So you'll keep practicing until you get it right. For those ones who either you learned a skill, whether it's riding the bike, whether it's cooking, I'm pretty sure the first time you didn't come up and you were like, hey, I've done it. You had to we do it over and over and over and over again. And if you learned it from someone, there's a way in which they work. Right? Fine, yeah, nifanye hivi, si mimi naweza fanya this other. So now you keep on changing. Are you seeing how sequence, selection, iteration still works in our life? You see, the one thing is, I find most people, you want to look at life and coding as two different things, right? Yet, when it comes to even day to day, the computer was modeled after a human being, right? So once you learn and understand how it works, it becomes very easy for you to even start programming it, right? So now, when it comes to an algorithm, as you're doing whatever it is you're doing, the instructions, like I'll ask a very simple. I want to, let me give this example in simple instructions here. That's all. Simple, these are notebooks. Notebook. Just that funny assignment ya kwanza. Tuone kama tumeshika. Haya. I want to, how many are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Inclusive. If he comes back here, 14. That's all. I want to calculate the average age of the 14 people here. Right? So meaning I'll have to go one by one. Anybody who has we have all that. We have the sequence, we have the iteration. So the first thing I'll do is what? Yes. So I have my program. So average age. That's my header. What am I declaring? Yeah. What am I? Yeah. So let's start. What are the variables I'll have for started? Yes. Yes. Now, before we start the loop, here, so we need to declare our variables. How many variables do we need? 2. One for. So x is going to be the number of our number of iterations, right? So x, the age, which is going to hold our individual ages. So individual. What else? That's it. The results. Okay, results. Which this will be the total or the average. Average. Okay, now let's come to our body here. For starters, we know that we are 14. That's it. So what do we start by doing? X is equals to 14, right? So by the time you're starting, you say x is what? 14. So we are going to loop 14 times. Is that so? So once you have assigned x to 14, you want to get the individual age of everybody, right? So now we start. While x, is it less than or greater than 14? So less than equal to, less than or equal to 14. Is that so? So while x is less than or equal to 14, what do we do? One, input. Is that so? And then what do I do? What do I do? Key age. So lazima tuiongezee pahali. Where? You see now, that's why I say you have to first know A. Because now, if I take up the age, it means I'll have to add age plus age in one point. Is that so? So I will need something like the total. Right? Right? But when I'm starting, my total is equals to 0. Because right? And then now here, I will say total is equals to total plus age. So that's simuliza yenda kwa mtu wa pili. So kwa total. Nikianza total ilikuwa ni 0. But nikimaliza hii ya kwanza, total itakuwa age ya mtu wa kwanza. Si ndio? Right? So now, well, this total is equals to that, right? And then what do I do? What comes next? So while this total is that, so until this, so I'll print out. No, it's going to repeat. You see, the computer goes step by step. You just see binadamu si huruka. Yes, that's what you do hata kwa line. Ukiona ile inaishi na nyama ziko pale. So that's what you do. But now for a computer, it's going to go line by line, right together. So by the time it starts here, it's going to say x less than or equal to 14. Tayari tunafanya makosa because x is equal to what? So we need to repeat it anyway. We have already certified this. You're getting? Now this is how we learn coding. Because unaenda kwa mtu tayari, yeah, huko. These are the mistakes that most young people are doing, especially when you want to learn coding and you're not in a class. But I basics. Ultimately, we want our x to be 14. Is that so? Ultimately. So now we cannot start by assigning x to 14. Is that so? Our x should start at what? 0. Is that so? But when we start x at 0, remember 0 is counted. We cannot stop at what? Where will we stop? At 0. Because 0 is significant. Since 0 doesn't mean anything. So, okay? So now, when x is 0, as long as x is less than or equal to 14, it's going to repeat. So what we do, we say x is equal to x plus 1. So that I can be able to count. Okay? So for x, select the first one. X has started at 0. That's all. So kwa vile nimekuja hapa ikajua nimeambiwa niweke x ikuwe 0 na nimeambiwa niweke total ikuwe 0. Nikimaliza hapa the first step, while x is less than or equal to 14. Is 0 less than or equal to 14? Yes. Is that so? So inamaanisha, what do I do? I'll ask for the input age. mtu wa kwanza. So hiyo space ya age, what do I do? I'll have something to put, right? And then now, my total, remember total is 0. Nimeambia total is total. So at the first time, this is 0, right? Plus the age right? And then what do? I do my x is equals to x plus 1. I have started my x at what? At 0. Is that so? By the time I'm finishing here, my x will be 1. When I do the first loop, right? So now, again, have I satisfied this condition? This is x now, is x is 1. Is that so? I cannot exit to print out something, right? Inamaanisha nirudi, because my x says natoka hapa x ni 1, si ndio? It means bado hapa niko nafaa kurudia, si ndio? Tena ni I go back. So now by the time we are, if the first one, like the first age, let's say we say it is 22. So my total here will be 22. Is that so? So now I come back. X here is 1. Is 1 less than or equal to 40? Yes. Right? So what do? I input age. So I ask age again. No, age ya mtu wa pili. Right? Age ya mtu wa pili nichukue alafu niongeze kwa total. Remember total ilikuwa ishapata age ya mtu wa kwanza. So sisi naongezea tu age ya mtu wa pili. Are you getting? Right? Again, I do x is equals to x plus 1. Right? So now this is x is 2. Is 2 less than or equal to? Yes. I get it now. So itarudia mpaka saa zile hii itakuja maybe evaluate to no. When it is 14. 14 is less than, no, sorry, it should be 13. 13. Is that so? So now if I add on the last one where x becomes 14, now this becomes a no. Is that so? And that means I have not my iteration map can be exited. Okay. So now when it comes to that, this is more or less we are doing the constructs that we said here at the back. Okay. Or right together programming, regardless of whatever language you're going to use. But now the language that you use, you have different types of the way you're placing the words. Right together, the way that you're placing the words or the language, the syntax. Language rules. Swahili, in English, you say what? Mary keep the boy, right? Translate that in your mother tongue in your head. Do they follow it? Do they follow each other? Why? You use it. The language changes. That's so. So every language has its own rules, and that's what we call the words, the syntax of a language. In English, whenever you're starting a sentence, you have to have the capital letter, right? And when you finish, you do a full stop, right? There are those programming languages that you finish, so that I can show that I finished, I have to have a semicolon. If I don't put that semicolon, hii line ikienda na hivi mpaka pale nitaweka semicolon, hapo ndo ita nimewekea mwisho wa sentence yangu. It's kind of like how when you're talking in English, where you talk and then you so that you can breathe, right? But if you were to give the computer to read your sentence and there was no comma or full stop, what will it happen? So you just continue, but it's the whole page. You didn't tell it where to stop, right? So different languages also come in with their own syntaxes, right? Together. So now you find there's the language where I will need to terminate it with a semicolon, right? And then if I put in, let's say, a full stop, it means something. So for computers, if you the commas, the apostrophes don't mean anything. They mean something. And before, like I said, and we are going to look at it in the subsequent days. Whichever language we're going to look at, we will come in and we first start with the syntax of the language. How do I, when we come to this? These were more or less comments describing what it is we're going to do. Is that so? So like for us, we knew what X was to hold, right? But if we brought it without this, nobody will come and know what it is we were supposed to be or what it is we were doing. When we did the first one, where it was a half base times height, we all know that this is the common, the norm use base and height. But if somebody else comes in and they don't know the formula, they will think these guys were not, what are these guys discussing, right? So now you also have a way in which you put comments. How do I put, and you see comments are easy when somebody is coming to look at your program. Later on, they can understand what it is you are doing. So now a language can have a comment started like that. So when a computer comes and sees this, it knows is the yangu ili mwenye nasoma which ni binadamu. The journey meaning happen. So the computer is going to ignore that. Okay? When it comes, there's another language that will have something like that for you to terminate it. So we have different syntaxes, right? Now, for a practical, for those ones who have their laptops on room, see on them libeba laptop, yeah, open your computer. And then no. following. Just write that. We want to create our very fast web page. Going from where we have the header, okay, the body, and then the top. I'm going to start very simple. So we've done that, right? So now, for any and every opening tag, there has to be a closing tag. That's it. So nataka, okay, for me, but immediately press enter. So now, in between, we have opens and we have closed, right? Together. The starts and the ends, right? Now, for your space, in between your space. So now, bring it here, press enter so that now you're working in between these two, right? Now, I want you to write your title. Let's say you. And then close the title. Title in the tags, and then put your name and then close the. Okay, we good?
After title, what's that?
You close it. Title. You just put it like this, but now with the word title at the center. Okay. You get it? So now, let's go to the body. And this is my very last page. And then you close the page. My very fast web page, and then close the body. You open it here. We good? Click on file, save. And then now put it as your name.html. So like now I'll have Alice.ht. So click on save or save as and then put it Alice or your name.html. Either put it on the desktop or somewhere. Body, you close the body.
You open / body. Are we done? Right? Where did you save it at? Who's the desktop? Click on it. So go to your face. Save this. Save this. Yes. Moment. Click on it.